Hi, my name's Chloe Blackman and I work in business development for a technology startup based out of Melbourne called Vervo. I absolutely love my job. I'm so passionate about the company that I work for, and I'm so grateful for the job that I have as well. But it hasn't always been that way. I've definitely, it's taken me till being in my 30s to finally enjoy my job and where I work. And so I guess some of that journey and some of the lessons that I've picked up along the way will be what I'll share today. Where my journey has taken me is going from administration-based roles to then starting to follow some of my passions, like communication and events took me into events roles. Events jobs took me more into a sales direction, which I really love, that thrill of the chase. So then I followed the sales passion along with my passion for health and wellbeing, went into a health and wellbeing role, and followed by a learning organisation still doing sales, and now thankfully where I am at Vervo. I guess some of the interesting advice that I've received over time that's brought me to where I am, the most valuable advice that I will always treasure and reflect on, and it's helped me grow, is work out what is the most dominant thing about you, and then look at how could that be a strength to an organization. As an example, I used to think that my empathy was a real weakness. I guess you don't always think about what are things that are unique to you as well. You just take them for granted that it's the way I am. That's my voice, or that's my attitude, or that's my preference for things. But think about exactly how those things are unique to you and how they could be utilized in a job, how an employer or a position is looking for that in somebody. So for me, with my empathy, I use it to relate to my clients, put myself in the persona of what type of person would be looking to buy what I'm selling. But I can see other ways where it could be, maybe someone's told you that your voice is really unique. How can you use that to get a message out? Maybe you're really data driven or analytical. How would that be really valuable to an employer? And I think that following that, because it's actually so natural to you, is a huge advantage and will take you down interesting directions, and I believe in a really direction that's really positive and fulfilling, because it has been for me. What do I wish that I knew when I was starting out in my career? I reflect back on my early career and cringe. I really wish that I was much more conscious at the time that nobody's sitting around thinking about how they can help you grow your career, how they can help you move up a ladder, that they don't know what your ladder is, they don't know what you're interested in doing. I think that I wish that I knew at the time, don't be so passive in your career journey. Nobody else is going to be planning it for you or mapping it and paving the way for you. You need to be very active in making yourself visible, either through your work or through conversations with others, to let them know what you're interested in, find out what you're good at, share what you're good at. And I think just being a much more active in that, which has really been much more beneficial to me in my later years. But yeah, definitely look back and wish earlier Chloe knew that. The biggest mistake I've ever made, I think that comes back to, what I wish I knew. Being very passive in my early career is definitely something that I look back on and think is my biggest mistake. I think about some of those missed opportunities that I might have had. I also think about what sort of impression I might have left on people by being that type of professional who was a bit more passive in my work and in my approach to things. So I really do look back on and wish that I'd been much more active in that. Finally, the key to my success. I would say, again, it comes back into what I wish I knew, or that great lesson that I learned, which is tapping into what things are unique about me, my empathy, the things that I value, the things that I prefer. Those are all my strengths, and identifying those and being conscious of them, and even my weaknesses, I think, being very aware of them and being open about them has been really critical to my success, specifically in this role, which I think has been my most successful position to date, because I've been able to come to work wholeheartedly as myself with my strengths and my weaknesses, and be, that term vulnerable. I think it's an uncomfortable word to get around and to try and reflect that vulnerability. But if we think about vulnerability, it's just being your authentic self. And so, yeah, the key to my success has been being authentic with my colleagues, with my managers, with my customers. And that really is something that I can be proud of every day, and that sees me being successful in my way, in the way that I want to be successful. So I hope this has been a little bit helpful for some people or resonated a little bit. Thanks so much for the opportunity.